The Doncaster Cheltenham preview event for 2020 took place on Wednesday, March the 4th. The MC was ITV Racing's Ed Chamberlain, the rest of the panel were ITV Racing's Ollie Bell, Sporting Life's Dave Ord, Sky Bets and Michael Shinners, jockey Gerald Jacobs, trainer Warren Greatrex, and the racing author Mark Howard. In fact, exactly the same panel as the year before. The evening started with Gerald Jacobs joking that Warren Greatrex had jockeyed him off a horse recently, and that the horse hadn't performed very well under the new jockey, and that the horse had missed him. The first race covered was the Bream Novices Hurdle. Michael Shinners saying Shiskin leads the market bar if Envoy Allen runs, and of course, as you should know by now, he's a non-runner. Steve Falange was also well supporting that. Then had a video link from Nicky Henderson pre-recorded, who said he liked Shiskin from day one, done everything very well, and he has gears, polished, and a definite 2-miler. One Greatrex said that Shiskin is extremely impressive, especially last time out, when the only doubt is whether Cheltenham really is his track. Dal Jacobs said that Shiskin was very impressive against his horse last time out, when Dal Jacobs was riding against him. Beautiful looking, but felt was a bit short priced. And fancied Gordon Elliott's horse Abracadabra. Ollie Bell also fancied Edward Stone at a price, around about 20 to 1 at the time. I would appreciate the fast pace. Mark Howard, a big fin of Shiskan, and not surprised if it was a first and second for Nicky Henderson, seeing that maybe Chantry House would have a chance of coming second. Dave Ord said his contacts with the Nicky Henderson team were back in Chantry House. He also liked Edward Stone on good ground and a decent pace, and he also liked Shiskin. Michael Shinners went for Shiskin, as did Warren Greatrex, when asked for the final selections. Gerald Jacobs went for Abracadabra, and Ollie Bell for Edward Stone. Chairman Hurdle, Mark Howard spoke first, stating he doubted Epatante would cope with the track. Pentland Hills is his selection, although he felt the horse's run at Haydock had been rather disappointing, but hoped the wind had been sorted out due to it was affecting the horse. Ed Chamberlain noted that Honeysuckle was still in the race at that point, although by now, in time of speaking, the horse has been pulled out and found the clearances. Dave Ord said it was a weak race. Michael Shinners felt a favourite who could look at maybe 72 4 to 1 on the day, and Honeysuckle would be favourite if she ran, which she obviously isn't. At this point, they talked to Nicky Henderson again on video, and he said that Epatante had done everything right, although she had disappointed in the mare's race last year, the Madon Run Hurdle. But he said there was issues really with the flu vaccine timing, which had been absolutely horrendous and had affected the horse. Warren Greatrex mentioned Honeysuckle if she won, which she doesn't. Says it's a weak race and felt some jumping issues she might affect her would be irrelevant. And felt Benedict wins the mare's hurdle, which we'll talk about later on. But Greatex's selection, if Honeysuckle doesn't run, which he doesn't, was Pentland Hills. Ollie Bell was a bit more blunt, saying it was a rubbish race and a glorified handicap race this year. He's actually gone for a bit more of an outsider, Bally Andy. If it's soft ground, is not so sleepy. He left at the start last time out. Also mentioned Cornerstone Lad, who loves heavy ground, as rated the same as Epatante at 148, and he says the race is ripe for an upset. Dal Jacobs, why Call Me Lord? He says the highest rated in the race and had a wonderful season, and he should draw a line for his last time out race house is a bit flat. Said that Fusely Raffles is a talented horse and would actually ride him instead if it was good ground. And felt Fusely Raffles is a better horse than Call Me Lord, but it is all ground dependent, and so it's Call Me Lord if it's a bit more soft, and Fusely Raffles he'll ride if it's better ground, and she said it was an open race. Dave Ord liked Clear Semi for a champion hurdle. Michael Shinners said each way course sublime if Honeysuckle was a non-runner. Dal Jacobs fancied Silver Streak, who came third last year as an each-way shot, and also said that Simon Holt was keen on the horse. Warren Greatrex said Pentland Hills if Honeysuckle's a non-runner, and Mark Howard agreed with that view. The Mares Hurdle, Ed Chamberlain talks to the Joe Chambers, the racing manager of which he's on the audio, who said it was tricky to win a 2-mile champion hurdle with Benny Deder, and he's also not ran at 2 miles before, and that Richie is a creature of habit and has maybe had some unfinished business with the Mares Hurdle with Benny Deder after a fall last year, and that Benny Deder had been sensational at Auteuil. Ollie Bell said he thought the Mares Hurdle was a fantastic race, and mentioning Benny Deder winning the French champion hurdle at 3 miles half a furlong and the Galmoy hurdle at 3 miles, putting out the, of course, longer races of the Mares Hurdle, and that Honeysuckle is younger and could well improve past her. In the novices handicap chase, Mark Howard liked Champagne Court and Hold of the Note. One great X mentioned by Ralph for one of the races, I think it's the Ultima, but that horse is a non-runner in the race. We also mentioned Macaulay's Hildy's Sweet On in it and could run a solid race. Del Jacob said Cul-de-sac runs and he's riding horse and he's in really good form and he's rather stuffy, so he needs some runs to get him fit. Ground being dry would help him, but it might not be dry enough, of course. In the article, Dave Ord mentioned Fakir Dudui as one of his best bets of the day, also mentioning nights in Dubai the novices handicap chase. Michael Shinners went for a Spirit de Large in the Arkle. Dow Jacobs, his best bet of the day, is his hot ride on Kildesart. One Greatux like Macaulay's Hill each way is his best bet of the day. Mark Howard going for Shiskin in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Ollie Bell's best 2 bets of the day were Sensible Larkin Novices Handicap Chase and Vindication in the Ultimate Handicap Chase. Started day 2 with a champion chase. Michael Schindler saying Ultra will be favourite, although that's of course before he met his setback today. Dave Ord said that Deathly So was a tentative choice for him. Ollie Bell felt that Deathly So hadn't beaten a lot, with Under So past his best, and felt Ultra and Chakin Puswell were better than Deathly So. Mark Howard said that probably Deathly So at 2 miles needs soft or good to soft ground, as his jumping would be tested on quicker ground, and actually if it's good ground racing for him, he might need a bit further. He also said he'd been told by a Willie Mullins employee that Min hated tackling Ultra late last year and would change tactics on the horse, so maybe somebody else may not do that this year. One Greater said he would never have a horse like Ultra and felt that Ultra doesn't get enough credit for his performances. Felt he needed cheek pieces ideally, but he thought it was a good thing and any ground round would help him. Dal Jacob said he'll try again later on So World to take an Ultra, and that Ultra been running more chips on soft ground maybe, but was better left-handed, and this will play to his strengths. So if we're asked for a definite selection, Dave Ord went for Deathly So, Ollie Bell, Chakin Puswell, Michael Shinners, One Greater X, Dal Jacob, and Mark Howard all went for Ultra. In other bets on the day, Mark Howard went for Tagwell for cross country. Then moved on to a Ballymore hurdle, and Gordon Elliott came on the pre-recorded video. He said Inver Allen was in good form. Michael Shinners said that Inver Allen was drifting in the market and possibly support for Sporting John and maybe Chantry House if that horse turns up. Obviously the drift on Inver Allen has gone. He's not now, no hope of winning with Supreme Novices. Dave Ord fancied Inver Allen and was surprised he's drifting, which of course he no longer is. Ollie Bell likes Inver Allen for this, but also mentioned Big Breakaway. Mark Howard likes Inver Allen, Sporting John, and the Big Breakaway as possibilities here. For the RSA Chase, Mark Howard likes Nella Indo, as does Dave Ord, who thinks Champ is vulnerable. Ollie Bell says Champ hasn't had the ideal preparation, so it's against him, but has said that Sir Anthony McCoy told him after Copperhead won the Wednesday down Chase at Ascot that he would not beat Champ. One Greater liked his horse Horse Ted for Coral Cup if it was soft ground, and also liked Ocean Wind for the champion bumper after his listed win last time out. Mark Howard liked Franco Deporte in the Coral Cup and Fernie Hollow in the Champion Bumper. Ollie Bell said though it is best bet of the week was Appreciate It in the Champion Bumper. He also liked Connier in the Coral Cup and the Paul Nicholls trained Tyne White in the Fred Winter Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. Dave Ord also mentioned the Paul Nicholls trained horse Mick Pastor for the Boodles Fred Winter Hurdle, as he'd been favoured in the second race that All Mankind had won. Michael Schiller said that Queen's Book had been well supported in the bumper. Michael Schiller mentioned that Dane de Pagny and Downton the Getaway were being well supported in the Coral Cup, and the best bets of the day, Dave Ord said Mick Pasteur in the Fred Winter Boodles Hurdle, Michael Schiller's Queen's Book of the bumper, Darryl Jacobs and Warren Greatorex, Old Chior in the Champion Chase, Mark Howard Milnella Indo in the RSA Chase, Ollie Bell Appreciate It in the bumper.